Call to order the meeting of the Verona Common Council for Monday, July 8th, 2019. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next we'll have the roll.
Alderperson Cronin.
Present.
Alderperson Gaskell.
Here.
Alderperson Journey.
Here.
Alderperson Kemp.
Here.
Alderperson Cole.
Here.
Alderperson Posey.
Here.
Alderperson Reekie.
Here.
Alderperson Touche.
Present.
Thank you all for attending. We'll move on to item 4, which is public comment. If anyone from the public wishes to speak, now would be the time to do so. You can come up to the microphone, and if you could introduce yourself, that would be great.
Right now?
Yeah, this is the only chance for public comment.
Hello. I just start?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm Joanne Lindberg. I am a resident and homeowner at 825 Hemlock. And I have been very curious about a few things that I've either noticed or not noticed are happening in Verona. And first, though, I'd like to say thank you so much for your service. When I look at the minutes and have watched a couple of the meetings, I've realized the amount of work that you actually do. It seems pretty phenomenal to me. So I really appreciate your service, and I realize this is, something that you do because you care about Verona, which I really appreciate. So, I was looking at the website and trying to get some of my personal questions answered, and I, just to back up a little bit, I've only lived here 3 years, so I'm a relatively new resident. And I came here essentially to mostly retire. I'm semi-retired. So my question is with regard to planning. And comprehensive plan, the only one I could find on the website was 2010. I don't know if that's correct. Maybe you can correct me on that. And I also remember there was a platform for sustainability efforts when the new, I guess, I don't know, there was kind of a big turnover in the council. And I'm curious about how that's being handled. I've noticed that there are some things that sort of pop up here and there, like I remember the walkability, bikeability, the new trail, and there was some talk about looking at solar energy for the city buildings, and I think I heard something about electric car possibilities for the fleet for the city. And I'm wondering if there's, if those things just kind of evolve naturally, or who initiates these things, and how that all works with where we're going and what we're trying to do as a city. My last thing is with regard to growth, if there is, because I notice a lot of development. There's a lot of development going on right now. I'm wondering if there is some kind of philosophy about how big we're going to be, or if we're just going to kind of let it naturally evolve and whatever happens, happens, or if there's a way of kind of watching that and looking at that and saying, okay, how big do we want to be? Those are things that are important to me. So that's it for me. Do I just stay here, sit down? What do I do?
So the way it works is during public comment, it's kind of a one-way thing where the public gets to talk to us, and then public comments close, and then the meeting would proceed. I think, Mr. Sayer, could you answer this stuff during the administrative? Yeah, so there'll be just a couple quick things, and then we'll go to the administrator's report, and he can address the questions you raised. And then if you have any other questions, feel free to drop me an email or call or whatever, and I'd be happy to.
Okay, super.
Answers.
Thank you.
We are still in public comment. If anyone else wishes to speak or make a public comment, now would be the time to do so. Seeing no one approaching the microphone, we'll move on to item 5, which is approve the minutes from the June 24th, 2019 Common Council meeting. I believe the clerk had a correction.
Excuse me, in reading through the minutes again, I noticed that in the motion approving the minutes of the June 10th meeting, the meeting date is listed as June 20th. So that date has been corrected to June 10th in the official minutes that are filed in my office.
So a motion to approve the minutes for June 24th, 2019 with the correction offered would be in order.
Move approval.
Motion by Alder Cole, is there a second? Second. Seconded by Alder Kemp. Any other corrections on the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes from the June 24th, 2019 Common Council meeting with the correction offered signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And that motion passes. Next, we'll move on to mayor's business, which is item 6. And I got one thing, which is the confirmation of the library board appointments. I made those last meeting, but it turns out that they need to be confirmed by the council. So if you need a reminder, it was Jay Humer and Mawari Sohail, who was a reappointment, and Jay is a new appointment. But I would appreciate a motion to confirm those people.
I'll make a motion to approve the library board appointees as named by the mayor.
Motion by Alder Cole, is there a second? Second by Alder Cronin. All those in favor of confirming the library board appointments signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And they are approved. Next, we'll move up to item 7, which is announcements. I just want to say that we have the Joint Review Board meeting on July 17th at 5:30. I'm sure you're all very excited for it, but we should do, what's it, 17th? What did I say? July 17th at 5:30, right?
Oh, joint review board, okay.
Joint
Is that
review
correct,
board.
gentlemen? Okay.
Yes. Joint Review Board, July 17th, 5:30. We have to do it, so that's when we're going to do it. Any other announcements?
25th is board review.
The Joint Review Board is regarding our TIF districts. And the mayor, I believe, is the only one from the council that's on that.
Gotcha. Any other announcements? Seeing none, we will move on to item 8, the administrator's report.
Thank you. Regarding the kind of questions from public comment, first one was our comprehensive plan. We do have a comprehensive plan that was adopted in 2010. We will be updating that most likely in the next few years. So typically those are updated every 10 years. We also do, in the community, we do neighborhood plans. So our neighborhood plans are specific plans to certain neighborhoods that kind of guide development and growth. So currently we have our Northwest neighborhood plan, our North neighborhood plan, a Southwest neighborhood plan, and a Southeast neighborhood plan. And those are more specific to those areas. So the comprehensive plan is a general overarching plan of the city, and the neighborhood plans are intended to be specific planning areas for the city. We also have on a horizon potentially to start this year an East neighborhood plan, and that would be located in the kind of Whalen and Grandview Road neighborhood. That kind of dovetails into your question number 3, which is there a philosophy of how big we'll be? Those plans are what guide kind of how big we're going to be. So in those plans, we have general guidance of general number of homes, general densities, generally just where development is occurring. Just once again speaking generally here, we are bounded by some natural features. We have the Sugar River on the west. At this time, we have no plans to go beyond the Sugar River. On the east, along Fitch-Rona, that's where the boundary line between the city of Rona and the city of Fitchburg is. Looking to the north, we have some boundary lines with both the city of Madison. We also have a boundary agreement, which is also in line with the town of Rona, and that generally plans out for the next 8 years approximately where the city would potentially grow and where potentially the town of Rona would grow as well too. Regarding the platform for sustainability efforts, we did adopt a resolution for sustainability. There have been some things that have popped up, I think, as part of the budget process in for 2020. You'll be seeing potentially more of those items being looked at. I know we had conversations tonight about hybrid vehicles for the police department and also the fire department. But as staff, as we've looked at our budgets, that's one of the areas that we're focusing on of what ideas are out there that we can become more sustainable with, whether that be how we purchase things or whether the actual constructing of potential bike paths and pedestrian connections, and also just looking at generally planting of trees and whatnot. So there haven't been too many rollouts just because there isn't a line item budget for the 2019 budget. But as we're looking at the 2020 budget, that is definitely a point of emphasis that we've heard from both the mayor and also the common council as well. So as department heads, that's one of the big items that we're looking at for that. So I think that generally covers your questions. I'm also happy to, if you have any more questions, shoot me an email. We can talk outside this meeting as well. Happy to help you out too. Regarding the administrator's report, we do have an upcoming meeting for Board of Review on July 25th. If you cannot make that meeting, let Ellen or myself know immediately. We are getting very tight on numbers for that, so if you cannot make it, let us know right away. We are in the process of updating the city's website. This is a kind of a facelift or kind of painting the whole thing. I did have some examples in the packet. I guess take a look at those. If you have any comments, you can send me an email after the meeting, and we'll take a look at the comments and see what we can do. Public Works has added a cardboard dumpster down at the Public Works facility on Investment Court. There are large signs, and the dumpster is located across from electronic recycling bins. The intent of this is to allow people to place cardboard in there that will not fit in the recycling containers. It's one of the common issues and complaints that we get is people not being able to fit their cardboard boxes in there. So this would be an alternative for people when they run out of space in their bin. They could take it to Public Works and recycle it there. Public Works staff has also added recycling information on the city's website, and the link is in the administrator's report. I would encourage everyone to kind of take a look at that. It's a nice resource for people to click on of what they're looking to dispose of, batteries, yard waste, a variety of things are in there. It's a good guide, though, for people to look at. Special thanks to that to Eric Schultz, John Bublitz, Kimberly Marshall, and Maria Fever for their work on putting that information together. We are in the process of, the utilities in the process has filed an application with the PSC to increase water rates. There will be some significant increases starting on October 1st of this year, potentially, if it's approved by the PSC. This is due to increase in infrastructure investments and also operating costs as well too. The last rate increase occurred in 2011, so there will be changes that property ratepayers will notice here in the near future. We do have a significant amount of information regarding that rate increase on the city's website, and I would direct people, if they have questions, to the website. Fireman's Park is finally open. It looks great. I know I've been there a couple times. We are still tentatively planning a open house ribbon cutting on July 31st. Still more information to come on that, but will be some type of event that day to correspond with the Beach Bash. TIF fix, we continue to work with the state on the TIF fix that we've discussed before. On June 20th, a fiscal estimate was received on the bill, and it was found to have no state or local fiscal impact. So that's one of the first steps that has to go through of an analysis. So we're cautiously optimistic this will get a public hearing, hopefully here in the near future. We also have an employee summer cookout planned. If any common council members can make that, it'd be great. A great chance for you to interact with other staff that normally don't attend these meetings. But if you could help out as well, or at least stop by and you can grab some food as well, you're welcome to. But just, like I said, it'd be a great opportunity if you want to meet people outside of department heads that normally visit council meetings. And finally with that, we have some work anniversaries as well. Dan McCobb, Dan Mahaka, Trevor Runkle, Matt Schultz, Joe Giver, Brian Schultz, Ryan Atkins, and Aaron Trescott. They've been here now as listed in the report for many years, and just want to thank them for their service and commitment to the city. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions from the council.
Any questions on the administrator's report? Alder Kemp?
Yes, can we get the date for that cookout and the time?
July 25th, 11:30 to 1 p.m. And it's at City Hall here in the shelter.
All right, thank you.
Alder Cronin?
Just to add to the information that's being provided about recycling, they did also include in your water bill a nice summary about things that are contaminating our recycling, and when that happens, if what they're collecting is contaminated, that goes straight to the landfill. So, if, when you get your next water bill, have a look at the insert, because I found it really helpful.
Other questions on the administrator's report? Seeing none, we will move on to the engineer's report. Ms. Fisher.
Thank you. For the Well 6 pumping station construction, the contractor has begun to install air piping to continue the required testing for the well. The alignment and plumbness testing for the well has been completed, but there are some issues related to the alignment of the well casing and borehole that are being worked through with the contractor prior to moving forward with the next tests. For the high school, AECom and city staff are finishing another round of reviews on submitted plans and specifications from JSD for the transportation-related projects associated with the new high school. Staff continues to work with JSD to finalize the plans and specs to move this project to construction. For the County Highway M reconstruction project, the utility contractor has completed the sanitary sewer installation for the city work and is currently completing the required testing prior to acceptance of the sanitary sewer. Water main installation has resumed for the city work as well. For the County Highway M Liberty Drive Thousand Oaks Trail traffic signals, all lanes are now open with the traffic signals operating. Permanent paint line is completed with the exception of the edge lines. Finished grading, shoulders, and landscaping work is in progress. Permanent signage will follow once done. For the 2019 street rehabilitation projects, the contractor started work on July 1st. Scheduled completion is by August 16th. For the East Side Sanitary Interceptor project, the design of the East Side Interceptor has reached its first milestone. The preliminary pipeline alignment selection meeting was held June 18th, 2019. Work will now move to finalizing the alignment and design on the new interceptor. And finally, for the County Highway PD Woods Road to County Highway M project, which will be upcoming, the contracts have been sent out for signature to the contractor. City staff is working on a schedule for a pre-construction conference and setting the start of construction for that project. So I will answer any questions if you have them.
Questions on the engineer's report? No? Thank you. Next, we'll move on to item 10, committee reports. First up, we have the Finance Committee. Alder Kemp.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, I'd like to make a motion for the payment of the bills in the amount of $536,501.75.
Motion by Alder Kemp. Is there a second? Seconded by Alder Cronin. Alder Kemp.
Again, thanks again, Mr. Mayor. Nothing of any real controversy this week. There is a rather large payment to Fireman's Park in the amount of $287,699.65. Everything else is pretty standard.
Motion before the body. Any further discussion on paying the bills? Seeing none, all those in favor of paying the bills in the amount specified signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And that motion passes. Anything further from Finance, Alder Kemp?
Nothing further. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we'll move on to 10B, Public Safety and Welfare Committee. Alder Rieke.
Thank you. Under item 10B1, I'd like to make a motion for to approve an application for a Class B fermented malt beverage and Class C wine retailer's license for Mr. Brew's Tap House, Verona LLC, doing business as Mr. Brew's Tap House, 611 Hometown Circle, Suite 104, Verona, Wisconsin. Ryan Swanson, agent.
Motion by Alder Rieke. Is there a second? Seconded by Alder Kemp. Alder Rieke.
So this is just an owner change. Ryan Swanson is purchasing Mr. Brew's Tap House from the current owner, Daniel Johnson, and has applied for a new license for the property. No physical changes have been made to the property, and this license is identical to the one currently held by Mr. Johnson, and there should be the contingency that the current license be relinquished.
And that was the understanding of the second as well? Yes. Okay. Motion before the body. Any discussion? Alder Posey.
Yes, I had a quick question on the application. Number 2, there was the response of yes, but no further information provided.
I don't have it in front of me. Number 2.
So you're speaking of the auxiliary questionnaire?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
They should be listed, Chief?
Chief Coughlin?
What's the question?
On the auxiliary questionnaire, in question 2, it asks if you've ever been convicted of any offenses other than traffic unrelated to alcohol beverages. The answer is yes, but it's not listed. I know that Chief Coughlin checks, and we do a CIB, a background check on all of the applicants, and so it has been okayed by Chief Coughlin.
It's not uncommon for that to be in that order, where there are convictions and it's no, or there are and it's yes and not listed. We run the complete record anyway, regardless. And then on the actual original application, I'll indicate any significant concerns on there and whether or not we recommend approval or not. So that should be listed there as well, if there are any. And potentially on the back of the form, but that might be the original with in Ellen's office as opposed to the item that gets distributed.
Yeah, thank you. That's why I wanted to clarify. There was other information that just wasn't necessarily right here. So
Yeah.
thank you very much for that clarification.
Any other discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the applications for a Class B fermented malt beverage and Class C wine retailer's license for Mr. Brews Tap House LLC, doing business as Mr. Brews Tap House, 611 Hometown Circle, Suite 104, Ryan Swanson agent, with the contingency specified, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no? And that motion passes. Alderiki.
Thank you. Under item 2, I'll make a motion to approve a memorandum of understanding between public safety cadets and the city of Verona regarding a program to educate and mentor youth.
Motion by Alderiki. Is there a second? Seconded by Alder Cole. Alderiki.
The explanation is the Public Safety Cadet Program is a nationwide nonprofit organization that was founded in 2018. It was founded and managed by active or retired law enforcement officers and public safety industry leaders to prepare young adults for careers and leadership in the public safety profession. The Public Safety Cadets was established to assist public safety agencies to mentor young adults ages 14 to 21 to serve their communities by providing knowledge, skills, and practical experiences through education and training delivered by public safety professionals that build character, physical fitness, and respect for the rule of law and human and civil rights. The costs associated with the PSC program are quite minimal when compared to the current fees associated with the Learning for Life organization. Since 2014, the Learning for Life organization has increased their fees dramatically with no change of service or explanation as to why. The Learning for Life organization now charges $33 a year for each registered participant. In comparison, the PSC program currently only charges $15 a year for each registered participant and $20 a year for each PSC unit or the police department. In 2019, the PSC program has waived all fees for new registrants. They anticipate the fees to remain at $15 in 2020.
You've heard the explanation. Questions, comments, or discussion on the motion? Seeing none. All those in favor of approving the memorandum of understanding between public safety cadets and the city of Verona regarding a program to educate and mentor youth, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no? And that motion passes. Anything further from public safety, Alderiki?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll move on to 10C, which is Plan Commission. Alder Gasco.
Thank you. First up, I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number R-19-031, approving a conditional use permit to allow an in-vehicle sales or service land use located at 723 Half Mile Road, under the condition that the use permit shall become effective upon the applicant acquiring the property.
Motion by Alder Gasco. Is there a second? Second. Seconded by Alder Kemp. Alder Gasco.
Thank you. This proposed conditional use permit will allow for the construction of an 8,300 square foot convenience store, fuel canopy, and a car wash at 723 Half Mile Road. Plan Commission held the required public hearing on July 1st. Comments from the Plan Commission included concerns about locating a gas station land use in front of the new high school and questions about how the branding of the high school could be incorporated into the project. The applicant has spoken with the school district and is looking into using school district colors on their outdoor umbrellas, wildcat paw prints on the cement, and student artwork in the store. Plan Commission voted 3-1 to recommend for the approval with the aforementioned condition.
You've heard the explanation. Questions, comments on the motion? Seeing none. All those in favor of resolution number R-19-031, approving a conditional use permit to allow an in-vehicle sales or service land use at 723 Half Mile Road with the conditions specified, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And that motion passes. Alder Gaskell.
Thank you. This is related. I approve, I make a motion to approve resolution number R-19-032, approving a certified survey map to create 2 lots at 723 Half Mile Road, again with the condition that the survey map shall become effective upon the applicant acquiring the property.
Motion by Alder Gaskell. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alder Kemp. Alder Gaskell.
Thank you. The proposed certified survey map will create 2 lots at 723 Half Mile Road. Lot 1 would contain the future Quick Trip, and Lot 2 will be vacant and available for future commercial development. Plan Commission discussed the CSM on July 1st and voted 4-0 to recommend for the approval with the aforementioned condition.
You've heard the explanation. Questions, comments on the motion? Seeing none. All those in favor of resolution number R-19-032, approving a certified survey map to create 2 lots at 723 Half Mile Road with the conditions specified, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And that motion passes. Alder Gaskell.
Thank you. I move approval of resolution number R-19-033, approving an urban service area amendment located at the southeast corner of Range Trail and County Highway M.
Motion by Alder Gaskell. Is there a second? Seconded by Alder Cronin. Alder Gaskell.
The proposed urban service area amendment would add approximately 39 acres of land to the city's urban service area. Portions of this parcel recently received a concept review from the Plan Commission and Common Council for a residential development. The Plan Commission discussed the amendment at the July 1st Plan Commission meeting and voted 4-0 to recommend for the approval.
You've heard the explanation. Questions, comments on the motion? Seeing none. All those in favor of resolution number R-19-033, finding for the Verona Urban Service Area Amendment to include 39 acres of land at the southeast corner of Range Trail and County Highway M. Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And that motion passes. Alder Gaskell.
Thank you. Move approval of resolution number R-19-034, approving an urban service area amendment located at 1979 Milky Way.
Motion by Alder Gaskell. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alder Cole. Alder Gaskell.
The proposed urban service area amendment would add approximately 7.5 acres of land to the city's urban service area. Plan Commission discussed the amendment at the July 1st, 2019 Plan Commission meeting and voted 4-0 to recommend for the approval.
You've heard the explanation. Questions, comments on the motion? Seeing none. All those in favor of resolution number R-19-034, which is the Verona Urban Service Area Agreement for 7.5 acres of land at 1979 Milky Way in the city of Verona, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And that motion passes. Anything further from Plan Commission? Alder Gaskell.
No, thank you.
Next, we'll move on to 10D, which is the Joint City and Town Planning Committee. Is that you as well, Alder Gaskell? Alder Gaskell.
Happy to. I move approval of resolution number R-19-035, approving an extraterritorial certified survey map to create 2 lots at 6861 Cross Country Road in the town of Verona.
Motion by Alder Gaskell. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alder Kemp. Alder Gaskell.
The proposed certified survey map would create 2 lots at 6861 Cross Country Road in the town of Verona. The Joint City-Town Planning Committee reviewed CSM on June 25th, 2019 and voted 5-0 to recommend for the approval.
You have heard the explanation. Questions, comments on the motion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor of resolution number R-19-035, approving an extraterritorial certified survey map to create 2 lots located at 6861 Cross Country Road in the town of Verona, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And that motion passes. We will move on to 10E, Public Works, Sewer and Water Committee. Alder Touche.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Up is item 10E1. I'm making a motion to approve a professional services agreement with AECom for construction-related services for project ID 2016-123, County Highway PD, Woods Road to County Highway M.
Motion by Alder Touche. Is there a second? Second. Seconded by Alder Kemp. Alder Touche.
This consulting services agreement with AECom is for construction, staking, contract administration, product review, request for information, right-of-way staking, shop drawing review, and other design services during the construction. The construction, in addition, construction inspection will be done by city staff. The cost of this contract is not to exceed $79,361.
All right, you've heard the explanation. Questions, comments on the motion?
I would like to add the work for this project is to start this September of this year and finish before November of 2020.
Thank you for that addition. Questions, comments on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor of agreeing to a professional service agreement with AECom for construction-related services for project 2016-123 County PD, Woods Road to County M, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And that motion passes. Alder Touche.
Next up, for 10E2, I'm making a motion for to approve a professional services agreement with JT Engineering agreement for construction administration and inspection in regards to work within a right-of-way.
Motion by Alder Touche. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alder Kemp. Alder Touche.
I forgot to mention this is contingent upon legal review.
Was that the understanding of the second as well?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
This consulting services agreement with JT Engineering is to assist public works staff with administration, enforcement, and inspection of work with the City of Verona right-of-way and/or easements by utility companies. The cost of these services will be billed back through the permit issued. Depending on the size of the application, a retainer will be required at time of application and permit issuance. To give you some background, Mr. Jacobson has been approached by 2 other fiber optic companies that are looking to place transmission facilities in Verona. As each application applies for a permit, it is issued a work order which will be issued to JT Engineering by staff. This contract approach is being used by other communities that do not have staffing capabilities to administer and/or inspect projects of such scope and size. As an example, a draft work order included in the packet in the contract is $15,000 to cover the 2 applications mentioned above. These 2 projects will require retainers at permit issuance. Our city attorney has reviewed with the staff and is happy with the approach that we're taking.
You have heard the explanation. Questions, comments on the motion? Seeing none. All those in favor of approving a professional service agreement with JT Engineering for construction administration and inspection in regards to work within the right-of-way, contingent upon legal review, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And that motion passes. Anything further, Alder Touche?
Nothing for tonight.
All right, we'll move on to item 11, which is old business. This is a discussion and possible action regarding the development agreement for Sugar Creek Commons, the Sugar Creek Commons project in tax incremented district number 9. Is there some stuff we can say in open session?
Sure. We also have a second item under new business as well. I think you can probably do 2 separate motions for both those. I think ideally we would take the new business item first, just because the city attorney should be here in about 10-15 minutes. But I guess I can start in the old business one, and if you want me to do a summary of the new business as well, I'm happy to do both.
Yeah, we do both.
So for the old business, staff is requesting a closed session discussion with the council regarding the Sugar Creek Commons Development Agreement. We had a discussion at the last council meeting 2 weeks ago regarding the agreement. Staff does have updates for the council that we would like to share in closed session, because this is a negotiating item as part of a development agreement. So we'd like that closed session conversation with the council to continue the conversations regarding the analysis and kind of the additional information that we have received from the developer. take the second one?
Yeah, if you could
Okay,
go through that one as
so
well.
in the new business, we have a potential purchase of property located on Woods Road. So in your packet, there was a map that we did include. The map has a parcel that is highlighted in yellow. It is just south of the City Madison parcel that is on Woods Road. City staff has been approached by that property owner, and that property owner has expressed interest in potentially selling that to the city. This property is located immediately south of land that was purchased by the City of Madison in 2018. It's a 40-acre piece of parcel that is heavily wooded. City staff has walked the property, which that contains glacial kettle ponds. The long-term use of this property, if the city were to acquire it, would be potential open space with trails and walking paths on it. This property also includes the terminal moraine, which is a significant feature for the Ice Age National Scenic Trail, and staff is recommending a closed session with the Common Council for discussions about purchasing and deliberating of the use of public funds for the purchase of this property.
Thank you for those explanations. Any comments or questions purely on open session? Seeing none, I think we could do two separate motions to go into closed sessions, if anyone is willing to make that motion. Alder Gasco.
I will make a motion to go into closed session regarding the development agreement for Sugar Creek Commons project in tax incremental district number 9. The Common Council may convene in a closed session as authorized by Wisconsin statute 19.85, parent 1, parent E, for the purpose of deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons deem a closed session necessary. Common Council may reconvene in open session to discuss and take action on the subject matter discussed in the closed session.
Motion by Alder Gasco. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alder Kemp. This is a roll call vote. So if the clerk would read the roll.
Alder Posey,
Aye.
Alder Ricky,
Aye.
Alder Touche,
Aye.
Alder Cronin,
Aye.
Alder Gaskell,
Aye.
Alder Journey,
Aye.
Alder Kemp,
Aye.
Alder Cole.
Aye.
We'll go into closed session shortly. A motion to go into closed session for item 12A would also be in order.
I'll do it.
Alder Gasco.
Thank you. I move that we go into closed session to discuss the potential purchase of a property located on Woods Road. The Common Council may convene in closed session as authorized by Wisconsin statute 19.85, parent 1, parent E, for the purpose of deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons deem a closed session necessary. Common Council may reconvene in open session to discuss and take action on the subject matter discussed in the closed session.
Motion by Alder Gasco. Is there a second? Seconded by Alder Cronin. This, of course, is a roll call vote.
Alder Ricky,
Aye.
Alder Touche,
Aye.
Alder Cronin,
Aye.
Alder Gaskell,
Aye.
Alder Journey,
Aye.
Alder Kemp,
Aye.
Alder Cole,
Aye.
Alder Posey.
Aye.
All right, and with that, we are in closed session as soon as the doors close. Okay, we're back on. In regards to 11A, negotiations are still ongoing, and when we have something more solid, we'll have an update. And as far as 12A, also same thing. Negotiations are ongoing, and when we have an update, we will announce it. Next, I'll move on to 12B, which is discussion and possible action regarding approval of operator licenses.
Thank you. I need a motion, please, to approve operator licenses as presented by the city clerk.
Motion by Alder Touche, is there a second? Second by Alder Cronin. All those in favor of approving the operator licenses as presented by the clerk signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That motion passes. We're on item 13, adjournment. Motion by Alder Touche, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alder Kemp. All those in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And we are adjourned at 8:21 p.m.